Hey folks, this is Ben Gessel. How's it going? Um, so, um, I have a few thoughts here. It's just been, again, a kind of a long day, but more restful, I suppose, than particularly tiring. I don't see really any breaks for me until I get somewhere into October, I think. I don't know. Hopefully it slows down soon. Um, so instead, this isn't going to talk, I'm going to talk about food again, but instead of talking about just grocery shopping and stuff, I'm going to talk about, um, I guess it would be living on your own or being married, having kids versus having roommates or people in the same house that, share food or some food and all that kind of train of thought, that sort of thing. Um, so in my current location and stuff, of course, as you guys know, I'm single and I rent a room in a house. We have actually 3 fridges, one for the landlord, one for me, one for the other roommate. But in all honesty, it's a little bit more mixed up than that. And so you're going to see kind of where I'm going here with this in just a bit. Every single shopping trip, or most of them, as you know, I really try to get just a lot of healthy stuff. Just, man, I mean, yeah, I don't buy crackers. I don't buy ice cream. I don't buy candy. I generally don't buy soda. I buy a little bit of fruit juice, but not a whole lot most of the time. I don't buy chips for most of the time. Sometimes I do, like this last time I bought chips. I don't buy microwavable food or pre-made food that you just microwave. I don't buy pretzels that are in a bag. I don't buy cookies. I don't buy donuts. I don't buy pies. I don't buy cakes. I don't buy cupcakes. I don't buy cinnamon rolls. I don't buy bread. I don't buy milk of either, cow's milk or goat's milk or grass-fed cow's milk or almond milk or any of that stuff. None of it. No soy milk. None. I don't buy yogurt. I don't buy cheese. I don't buy butter, but I do sometimes buy grass-fed butter. It's one dairy thing I'll buy. And my landlord tempts me with ice cream, so when he gets me going on ice cream, anyway. And also, my landlord likes to buy soda, so that's always tempting for me to buy soda. That's not always very fun to deal with, because again, when you have somebody that, whether it's a landlord or a tenant, and they like to buy junk food, depending on how appealing that junk food is, it always has an effect on you. So if you have your own place and you don't have to deal with that, it's a little bit easier just to kind of do your own thing. So, as you guys know what I buy already if you've seen my videos. Yeah, I stick to produce and chicken and fish and meat and eggs, but eggs not all the time. And then nuts and seeds as well, and some beans here and there. And yeah, I get my greens in there. Try to, colorful fruits and stuff. And then Of course, herbs and spices and oil to cook with and stuff, or grass-fed butter or whatever. And that's what I get. I don't deal with cereal anymore. I do miss cereal. Cereal sometimes I still will have all kinds of food given to me by my landlord, which is nice, but it's sometimes healthy, sometimes not so healthy. So it's nice. It's nice getting free food. It really is nice. He's a very nice landlord. He's very generous. But, I have low rent. It's just hard to stay really trim. So, and then, I always have other people that want to give me donuts. Anyway, I should count my blessings, I guess. The other roommate right now eats fine. He's largely vegan, I think, or vegetarian or something. For the most part. I don't know if officially, but it's basically that. He eats fine. And before he was here, a while back, another tenant was big on to meat, but ate cheap stuff and wasn't always especially super healthy either. And then before him, we had another tenant here that was big carnivore into meat. And he had a roaster that kind of evenly cooked meat in like some kind of, it was starts with an S, some kind of French thing. And then I can go back even farther with regard to roommates and diets and how it affected me. The last roommate, I stayed at his parents' home. His parents were on a church mission. This is when I started making YouTube videos. And that was basically, he was eating a lot of starches and some fruits and vegetables, but mostly starches and dairy, and not very much chicken or fish or meat. And a little bit of pastries, but really not a whole lot of junk food. So he was big into the more traditional, I guess you could say, European dairy and grains and some other stuff. So, and very, very thrifty eating as well, very, very thrifty shopping. So then, before him, had another roommate who wouldn't buy hardly anything at grocery stores, but would spend more at fast food places or restaurants, or the community college he was going to, the cafeteria food there. And then, other roommates before him, I've had a fair number of roommates before that point that were more into cheap foods, that were filling, that were at least somewhat healthy, more or less. Cheaper for the most part. The very first roommate I had in Linwood after college, he drank a little bit of fruit juice. Some. Maybe not as much as I did. But, yeah. And I had a meat and potatoes roommate who was really tough and strong as well. A fair amount of dairy. I've had roommates that have a lot of dairy. This is all after college, and more poultry, but conventional poultry, not organic stuff, and more not really fish, not really, more just chicken and beef, sometimes a little bit of eggs, but a fair bit of milk, some cheese, butter, and not a heck of a lot of produce really either, and a fair amount of some snack foods, and then some microwavable stuff. So for the most part, they've been not as healthy as me, um, varying, but not quite as healthy. And then in college, I have had, and then on my church mission, a wide variety, but I had I've had roommates that were more about the filling foods, meat and nuts and starches, and not as much produce. And I've had roommates that were, again, kind of just more about the grains, and the vegetables, and fruits and dairy. Maybe not, and then chicken, but maybe not a whole lot of other stuff. And on my church mission, we had a lot of top ramen guys, a lot of guys that just ate really cheap stuff. And your grains, a little bit of dairy, and a little bit of chicken, maybe your eggs. Oatmeal is a pretty important thing. Bananas, cheap fruits, stuff that was durable, that was cheap, that lasted you a while. So this is a little different approach to this whole thing, because there's been the major influences on me, right? Because you tend to, how people you are living around eat rubs off on you. So the major influences on me have been, I've known a lot of guys that eat a lot of starches and grains, and also consume a fair bit of dairy. Conventional dairy. It's all conventional. And with the grains, a lot of it was refined. Standard American diet, right? I've known a lot of guys that don't eat enough vegetables. Yeah. And then a lot of guys that don't eat enough beans, including myself, right? I always eat more vegetables than beans. I've known a lot of guys that don't really have a whole lot of nuts or seeds either. Especially not seeds. And the fruit thing, really, most people don't have as much fruit as I do either. They just don't. They just don't. Apples, maybe. Apples and bananas. Sometimes you'll see other stuff, but not as much as what I get. And meat, and I saw a lot of poultry. Some meat, some. The more recent roommate, man, he was always doing that French thing with steaks and I don't know, whatever else. Roasts and things, short ribs, I don't know. Well, I don't know. And so, yeah. So the grains and the dairy have been a big thing. Also, soda. I've had a fair amount of soda roommates. And also a fair amount of roommates that like to eat out a lot. Sandwich places and Asian food. And fast food, Asian food, kind of more of that stuff. And then also just some roommates that didn't spend much on food. Really penny pinchers. Yeah. And then before, of course, college, so high school, that was different. But this all being said, I really have been very different than many of my roommates, majority of them have been in college and after college have been LDS, of course, Mormon. And a lot of grains, a lot of dairy. A lot of that stuff. Some produce, but not really a heck of a lot. Some beans, especially some missionary companions had more beans and rice than others, that sort of thing. But, just, it's been hard. And it's one of so many facets of my life that I just still haven't talked about yet. But it's been hard being around all these folks that have not eaten the way they should. And it's hard for everybody because it's easier to put something in the microwave and just have it be cheap and just eat it and you're good. Along with something to drink, It's harder to make healthy meals all the time, especially when you're really busy. It is hard. And it's hard when you have roommates that are not where you're at, not mindful of the things you're mindful of. It's hard to have knowledge of what you need to be doing, and you continually have people that are trying to mess with that. So it's like I could live on my own, that's fine. It's nice having people that you can chat with when you come home until you get married, that sort of thing. But it's, I don't know. One of those things, I guess, But I've never wanted to. I've never been aggressive about this sort of thing. I've never, anybody I've roomed with or was missionary companions with, all of my life after high school, I've never been aggressive toward anyone about this stuff. I've talked about this stuff. You talk about, hey, maybe it's a good idea to get some broccoli, cauliflower, green beans, or, maybe don't do the burger and fries this time. Maybe try a little salmon, try a little cod. Maybe have an avocado instead as a substitute for your chicken. But if you get chicken, maybe try this organic chicken, or try something that's skinless. And it wouldn't hurt to have some light meat. It's poultry once in a while, especially if it's organic. All this chicken breast stuff that, so many people are buying chicken breasts, thinking it's leaner, skinless chicken breast. Man, if it's just conventional, regular chicken, I don't know. I don't do that stuff. You buy organic, you get the dark meat. The fat in there is good for you. You need that stuff. But it's more important that it's organic or it's pasture raised than it is light meat. But you don't need the skin when it comes to poultry. It adds flavor, but you don't need it. You can get it here and there on occasion. You can get conventional chicken here and there. You can get all kinds of stuff. Just remember that the way that an animal is raised is more important than always sticking to light or dark meat or, I don't know, different cuts of stuff. So that's a little bit more about me, what I've kind of done, what I've kind of experienced in my life. I've had everybody from the nerdiest of nerds that have been roommates to the jockiest of jocks to everybody, missionary companions, college roommates, whatever. You name it, I probably had that kind of roommate. And if he wasn't my roommate, he was somebody that I was around a fair bit. I'm telling you, it's a small percentage of people that eat the way they should and exercise the way they should. It's a really small percentage, and it should be bigger. It should be much bigger. But why do these things persist? Well, because people just don't realize that impacts their health. Everything they do impacts their health. If you have a bunch of sunflower seeds in water, like a banana or something, and then maybe an egg, organic egg, or two, and that's your breakfast, man, you're off to a good start. Throw in a salad in there, and like a potato you make yourself with a little bit of salt and pepper, or a little bit of butter. Grass-fed butter is better, and a little bit of cod, some water, more water, you're doing even better. For dinner, if you have a whole bunch of, frozen organic veggies, like go to town, do carrots and peas and, broccoli, cauliflower, and all that stuff. And then maybe have like have some lean beef, even just a deck of card size, of course. Make sure it's well marbled, tastes good. And getting water again, and maybe a little bit of, rice noodles or something. You're set. You're set. Like all the vegetables you're getting, maybe like nuts and seeds and beans and, a little bit of fruit, banana, whatever. The meats, the poultry, fish. It's going to cover the bases. You'll get the minerals you need. You can use a supplement if you really want to, but if you don't do dairy, like I don't do dairy, you probably should supplement vitamin D, of course. And if you get a lot of sunlight, that helps as well. You'll find all you need for calcium in vegetables. That's the way to go. That kind of stuff, that's the way of eating. Maybe add in some more rice or potato or something. Get some more fish, more seaweed or something. Some clams or whatever. Maybe a little bit of dark chocolate, maybe. Yeah. And it stinks because when you have a roommate that gets all this really tasty stuff, really tasty, and it's really junky. For me, the most tempting kinds of foods are definitely ice cream and certain kinds of soda. Those two things always, I'm like, oh man. I don't mind if people have candy. Candy is kind of for kids, but kids often can't have it, really. I know. Candy is like, yeah. But yeah, it's like soda and it's juice, kind of. It's ice cream. Especially, anyway. Pastries are kind of not as tempting. Cake can be tempting at times, but not really. Yeah, it's the juice and the soda. And some of the chocolate ice cream as well. It's tough. I don't know. It's different when you're in college and you're eating in a cafeteria. You basically just have cafeteria food, unless you have a vending machine you can get stuff from. That was a different time, a different world. You just, I ate pretty well. I just remember how, some cafeteria food was okay, but some places and colleges did greasy stuff, greasy fried chicken. I remember that stuff. I had a fair amount of fried chicken when I was at BYU and also at, mainly BYU. And Central Washington, I did better, but a little bit of steak one year. Yeah, a lot of steak. Anyway, I will catch you guys later. Take care. Bye.